I just need to remind y'all again, everyone who is ginger, who has red hair, those are black people. All gingers are black people. If they have red hair, they are black. You see a white man with red hair, that's a black man. You see a white woman with red hair, that's a black woman. Gingers are black. All gingers.
If you're brand new to the gingers are black phenomenon, I'm here to orient you as quickly as I can. At the beginning of May, a black woman creator on TikTok said, "Gingers are black," emphatically, and then made a case for it. And then a bunch of black creators were like, "I co-sign on this. Absolutely they are. Gingers are black." And a bunch started making genetic arguments, historical arguments. Like, people, if you really go down the rabbit hole, you will see there's actually quite a lot of overlap. But even all of that aside, a lot of people in the black community said, they're black because we say they are. We have adopted them into the family, and that's that. We love them forever. We ride for them. That's it. And then all the redheads were like, yes, someone picked us finally. We've been bullied our whole childhoods. We've been made fun of. We've been made to feel a bit different within the white community. And now there's like this group that are appreciating us so deeply and so heavily and saying that we are beautiful and lovely and, you know, to hold our heads high. They're renaming us. So instead of Ginger and Carrot Top and Fire Crotch and all of those other awful nicknames that we've been given, they're like, you guys are Red Velvet kings and queens now. Cinnamon Kisses. I'm trying to think. Some of the nicknames are so adorable. And redheaded people came out of the woodwork, like a lot of them posting their very first videos ever, telling their stories about how they were bullied growing up as a kid. Because there's only 2% of redheads. We're very conspicuous. Now, yes, do some people compliment our hair? Absolutely. But do we also get targeted and bullied, especially as children when, you know, they look for anything to go after you for? A lot of us had some bullying, and some people had some intense bullying, especially like if you go back a few generations where like bullying in general was worse and the violence was allowed within the classrooms, but it's still happening today. And so we were sharing our stories, and a lot of people in the black community were like, we had no idea that this was going on to you. And honestly, I don't know if this isn't really talked about. This was something that I think me growing up as a redhead, I just kind of expected the comments as just part of the redhead experience. I was like, I guess I just gotta take this. And the fact that the black community was like, oh no, this is not okay. Like that's the first time that has been so emphatically stated over and over again, that this is awful and heartbreaking and should never ever happen. And so these black creators doubled down and they're like, oh my gosh, especially if this is what's been happening to you guys, you're in with us now. That's it. This is not a trend. We're serious. We're bringing you into the fold. And the redheads were like, we accept. We're so excited. Where are we meeting up? Now, I want to be clear that the redheads are hyper aware that we are white-skinned people with all the privileges that come with that. And I think us redheads are humbled about the outpouring of empathy and sadness and outrage coming from the black community about what we've been through when we know that our individual bullying doesn't even scratch the surface of like the generations of systemic violence against the black community. So the fact that they are highlighting our story is, we are humbled by it, and we are so ready to give back as much as we possibly can. We're like, okay, we're all now family. How do we ride for our family? How do we help grant access to our family now that anything they couldn't access because of white supremacy or white privilege or all of the systemic discrimination and biases? Like, how do we start to be part of the solution of dismantling that? Because we know it's kind of a radical thing to say gingers are black. I know it sounds outrageous to people the first time they hear it. And that's kind of the point. Because first of all, the concept of race is socially constructed and made up, and all of it was created to uphold white supremacy. But if you think about it, like these categories of white or black, I mean, look around you out in the world, all of the variations of complexion within the white community and all of the variations of complexion within the black community or the biracial community. Like, the fact that we just tip people either black or white and then treat them differently accordingly is crazy. And it is arbitrary. There were moments in history when the Irish immigrants coming over were not considered white. And in fact, they actually lived amongst people of all different colors and backgrounds that were also being oppressed, subjugated, discriminated against by this white majority. So if they were doing that in history of changing who's white and who's not, whatever, why can't we do it now? So if the black community says the whitest, palest of you guys are now black, we've just decided, and if we accept, okay, it starts to subvert this whole stupid thing that we call race. Cultural identity is real. Our histories are real. Our ancestry is real. Okay, so I'm not negating any of that, and I think we each need to celebrate that within ourselves and then celebrate other people's and learn about other people's ancestry and history and all those things. So it is more of this, the concept of race as it was created to promote and uphold white supremacy. That's what we need to subvert. In terms of each of our individual differences and the things that we bring, we're going to celebrate and highlight that and hold space for that and not encroach on each other's stuff and not co-opt each other's culture. You know, it's none of that. It's just love. Now, I will acknowledge that this has been a kind of triggering thing for a lot of people on every side of this issue. I know us gingers have been treading lightly because we are aware of the generational trauma, and we're floored like you would trust us to come into your homes given what Black folks have been through and all of the betrayals that they have experienced of white folks promising to help or do something and then not helping and not following through. So we are really aware of that. And, you know, anyone who's having a hard time with this, especially in the Black community, we give so much respect to that, and we don't blame you. And for the white folks that are triggered or upset by this, I really ask you to do your research, dig into the history of race relations. If you're like, this is crazy, gingers can't be Black, this is going to stretch your mind. This is going to break our brains a little bit in a good way. Because I guarantee you, it's the people that are like, I don't see color. Everyone's human. I don't see color. Those are going to be the people that are the most upset by this. And if color doesn't matter, then why can't we be Black? What's the difference? If we're all the same, then can I call myself Black? And could a Black person call themselves white? Self-identify. If you have a hard time with that, it's because you want to be a part of a system that wants to put people in categories and oppress them or privilege them accordingly. But I want to get back to what's the heart of this whole phenomenon is just radical love. Even though there's parts of this that are kind of, I think, stirring the pot a little bit, I hope for people to think deeper. Honestly, at the core of it, it's just pure love. This is not like a fake thing. People are genuinely like pulling people into their families. I've spent all of this whole week since this has popped off in DMs with people, exchanging phone numbers. I've been FaceTiming with people. I've been collaborating with people. We've been founding foundations and charities and organizations that are going to serve underserved populations. We are leveraging our networking and our knowledge and our experiences, and we're putting them all together to do greater good in the world. Meanwhile, also, like, loving on each other and getting to know each other. I genuinely have some new amazing best friend level people now as part of my network and in my contacts. I have Black aunties texting me every night saying, I hope you sleep well, sweetheart, like praying over you, love you. And they're genuine. And I'm texting it right back. Thank you, auntie. I love you so much. May God bless you and keep you and shall you. Just like, all of it, right? It is just an absolute love fest. And of course, here or there's been some people trying to ruin it. Like some people who just have like too much fear or hate or whatever in their hearts to, you know, be a productive part of this movement. But by and large, it has been this outpouring of love and support. And I'm just so grateful to be a part of this kind of moment in history. I know that it might seem like a small thing, but I do think this is going to be something that ripples. Already, I've been getting messages from people in South Africa, from people in Australia, from people in Europe, from people in Asia, being like, hey, can we fly into the US to go to a cookout? I'm Ginger. Like, they're organizing their own get-togethers and cookouts and everything. So this is going to ripple. It's also going to go beyond the Black and redheaded community because love benefits everybody. So please, even if you're not in either community, boost these posts, give love to it because this is a love revolution and everyone will be brought into the love fold of the human family. And then find ways to get involved. If you're not a ginger or a Black person, find a way to somehow get on this train with us.
Everyone who is ginger, who has red hair, those are Black people. All gingers are Black people. If they have red hair, they are Black. You see a white man with red hair, that's a Black man. You see a white woman with red hair, that's a Black woman. Gingers are Black. All gingers. I just need to remind you.
Yeah, I've been saying this for years. Finally, somebody gets it. Thank you for whoever made this video. Thank you. We appreciate it.
So gingers are Black. And I don't know if you've heard this, but I'm just finding this out and I'm super excited about it because the more the merrier, honestly. No, but this actually started out as a joke and has turned out to be one of the most unexpectedly human trends on TikTok. I love it. Let's talk a little bit about it. So how it all started was a satirical post by a creator was made. And, you know, he said that all redheads are actually Black. And redheads responded with humorous videos responding, you know, accepting essentially their newly issued Black cards, if you will. But then as the trend went on, they started to share stories about being bullied, mocked, made to feel like outsiders. And Black creators responded with empathy, essentially saying, we see you. And there's real history here. So Irish immigrants were once deeply marginalized in America. They were labeled as violent, as unclean, not white enough, denied jobs, mocked in newspapers. Sound familiar? And that history might have faded from the headlines, but it does not fade from memory and it leaves scars behind. And this wasn't just about being different, right? It was about being visibly different and being judged for it. You know, that's what created, I think, this moment where two groups, both historically reduced to caricatures based on their outward identities, saw something familiar in each other. And this wasn't about, who has it worse, right? It's not a competition for who was the most marginalized. It was about the power of people, the power that people carry, quietly, consistently, when they've been pushed to the margins, when they rise to the occasion of dignity, the kind of strength that you develop when the world continues to misunderstand you, but you show up anyway, not as victims, but as victors, but also wrapped in your vulnerability and connected to your empathy. It's amazing. I think what this really showed us is that empathy matters, that, in this time of great divide, because I don't think anybody is asking, hey, was this ginger a Republican, a Democrat, independent, or anything else? Was this black person who was responding a Republican, a Democrat? No, nobody cared about that. It was just like, hey, we see each other, irrespective of what your beliefs are, where your politics are, what you identify as beyond, this moment. We see each other, and we're united in this way. And I love it. I think it's a really awesome trend. I hope that it continues. I love seeing people come together, across the divide. I mean, this is across the aisle, so, I'm loving it. But anyway, let me know what you think. Let me know how you feel about this trend, and I hope it continues. More like it. Let's keep the conversations going, kind, compassionate, and honest across the aisle. Thanks. See you next time. Bye.
Oh, this feels so great. Honestly, I never knew that these people were being treated some type of way, despite having the same color with the Americans. I never believed it totally. To be honest, Africans are so happy to have you guys. Shout out to the creators. This is amazing. Congratulations to you all. We can't wait to have you all in Africa, especially Nigeria. I feel so relieved to honestly know that the most beautiful people, in fact, that have the most beautiful kind of hair, are black people, are regarded as, are being bullied in their own country. Come on. Anyway, let's watch other creators, and then we'll come back for the final commentary. Make sure at this point that you've subscribed, if liked, so people can see this video and celebrate you guys.
I know I look terrible. I just woke up, got out of bed, saw one of the most beautiful videos ever. It was about me. I've had a lot of pain in my life. A lot. And I'm now able to talk about it. I woke up going viral, getting thousands of followers, support, love, comments, DMs, feeling truly wanted. And now it's time to talk about my story. A story of 4 black men who impacted my life like no other. From first grade to today. I've known these men for like 26 plus years. I get to talk about them and my story.
It took one woman to come on here and say, gingers are black. For y'all to believe, finally, that I'm black? That's crazy, bro. I have 2 black parents. 2 parents darker than me. And nobody was believing me until this lady, shout out to her though, shout out to her, until this queen, let me fix that. This queen came on here and said, gingers are black. So forget all the family pictures, all the melanin, excuse me, not right now. I've been inside, I look like a sugar cookie, whatever. Summertime, excuse the melanin, right? Excuse the hair, excuse everything, you know what I'm saying? Forget all that. I was still a white man. Now, and only now that she says something, now everybody call me black. It's crazy, but shout out to her. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to the gingers around the world, white, black, everybody. Shout out to y'all, man. I grew up hating my freaking freckles. You know what I'm saying? They was calling me a ripe banana. I got called fire crotch. Yo, Sinbad, Jadena, any name in the book, I heard it. Finally, we getting some love. Damn.
How do I feel about being black? I love it. My whole For You page right now is that gingers are black. First of all, thank you. The biggest thing I want to say is that my whole life, the biggest, by far, biggest cheerleaders of my appearance, of my hair, of my skin, of my freckles have been black women. It's been from such a beautiful place. It's so sincere. A lot of gingers are coming on here and talking about how we were bullied. And yes, I was too. I was called Casper. Somebody said that I was see-through. I was so pale I was see-through because you could see my veins. I was bullied. We were all bullied. Gingers were not having a moment in the 90s the way that they are now. And second of all, if I get to be an honorary member of the 98%, I am taking that all day. Thank you. That's the team I want to be on. I am so disappointed in my own race, my own gender, and the way that we work against ourselves. I'm not going to sit here and pretend, though, that my experience in life has been anything like what Black women deal with. This is all fun and games, and I love it so much. But like, let's all remember also that, yes, this is hilarious, and yes, we all want to be invited to the cookout so bad. Like, tell me who all going to be there. What can I bring, you know, or nothing. I mean, I do season my food, but anyway, I'm getting off track. I still have white privilege. And gingers, I know we're only 2% of the population, but that's still a good number of people. And maybe if we all like this dialogue and we are all excited about the idea that we get to be maybe like just a tiny bit part of the Black community or adjacent to it, then maybe we should like think about what we could do to support them, not just how they've supported us and how sweet this whole conversation is. I worked for a Black news show for about 2 years, and almost every staff member was Black. And let me tell you, the things that I learned from working there changed my life, changed my perspective. The way that the internal racism that a lot of us have is so secret. You don't even realize necessarily that it's there, but that job like just busted open my brain in such a good way. So yes, please let me be part of this community. It is an incredible community. But also let's remember, like, when I was pregnant and I went to the hospital, I wasn't worried about the quality of care that I was going to get. I knew I was going to be taken care of. Okay, I didn't have to have an army of people in the room with me to make sure that I was listened to. I can go to doctor's appointments without having a friend on the phone because I'm worried that the doctor is going to minimize the pain that I'm in. I can drive a car and get pulled over without fearing for my life. The list goes on and on. So I think this is a really awesome and fun conversation. I think also it is a good time to just remember the reality of the situation as well. If we want the fun part of it and if we want to be part of the conversation in a playful way, then I think we also need to be part of it in a serious way.